everyone. Jason Thomas here with JMJ Financial. I am here with Mary Kate, or MK Thomas, with Coastal Oak Insurance Services. She also happens to be my lovely wife. And we're going to talk some insurance stuff today. So I think probably the most relevant, pertinent topic that's unfortunately affecting Southern California are all these fires right now. And I know there's a lot of moratoriums out there, and carriers don't want to write right now. Can you elaborate a little bit on what's going on?
Yeah, so obviously super devastating what's happening. We're all watching it in the news. We all probably know people that are being affected one way or another. And yeah, so essentially, when it comes to mortgage and lending, you need insurance, right? To close,
Right.
to close escrow. So, the insurance aspect of it, there's moratoriums, which is essentially when an insurance carrier won't finalize or bind a policy when there's a natural disaster happening. So right now with these wildfires, there's carriers that have certain zip codes closed, which is affecting deals going on. So if we have escrows that are open and now all of a sudden we can't bind policies, it's affecting the deal closing overall for the loan.
Right, yeah, and I know we're actually dealing with one that you're trying to find one for a mutual client at the moment right now. What would be your advice then for people that are actively in escrow right now, if they're still shopping? Like if they were just in the normal process of shopping for a quote, do they need to quickly get something bound and just take whatever they can get? Or what would be your advice for them on that?
Yeah, so I think, as always, we like to say insurance should be one of the number one things you're doing as soon as escrow opens. So if you're currently in escrow, absolutely get your insurance finalized, fires or not. It needs to be, getting done and taken care of. But yeah, get your quotes done, finalize if you've received quotes, if you're working with a broker or a carrier, finalize it as soon as possible. That's the other part of it, is there's still fires popping up that, I think we woke up this morning and there was another fire that started. Yeah. So there's no reason to delay that. After closing, 6 months down the road at renewal, you can always reevaluate your insurance policy. Let's not make insurance the reason why a home's not closing or a loan's not closing on time.
Got it. Yeah. And how long, I know you probably don't have an exact answer, but is this for this foreseeable future going to be affecting writing policies moving forward? Is it something that maybe is going to kind of sort itself out and settle down once the fires are contained? What does that kind of look like for LA County?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing to remember is that California has been having problems with insurance for the past few years. So with that said, this is definitely not going to help that situation. I don't think we know quite what that damage looks like yet and what that's going to do for the insurance industry going forward. There's, once we get numbers on the damage and all of that, carriers are going to really kind of take it from there and decide what they're going to do going forward in the state. But this is not bringing carriers back to the state by any means. So we really don't know. I think insurance is always going to be available. There's always going to be a way to find a policy. It might make it a little bit harder. I wouldn't have thought that the insurance industry in California could get worse, but after this, we really don't know. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to make carriers continue to evaluate their status in California for sure. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's really devastating. Our hearts go out to everybody that's currently being affected by this. What advice would you give for homeowners that actually they already have homes and policies in place, and they may be in the line of fire, or unfortunately, maybe they've lost their home? Do they need to take any steps specifically, or just, let their insurance company handle it? Are they potentially at risk of the insurance company not being able to replace their home because they don't have the funds? What are you kind of seeing with that?
Yeah, so that's a great point. I think first and foremost, right now we're in the thick of it, right? We don't know. It's still very active and happening in real time. The most important thing is hopefully you and your loved ones are safe. And at the end of the day, it's just a building. It's just your stuff, right? If something does happen. But yes, let your insurance carrier or your broker, whoever your contact is, know as soon as possible if you've been affected. And from there, they're going to walk you through the process. Every carrier is different. I've been seeing articles about people saying carriers are going to go bankrupt because of this. You know, as much as I guess that's always a possibility, right? Like, we don't really know how much damage has been done yet. At the end of the day, there's reinsurance in place. These companies have plans in place for events like this. I don't think anyone was expecting it to be this bad, but I personally don't think that we're going to see bankruptcy coming from this. Like I said, they're just going to be reevaluating it, you know, going forward. But in this moment, you've lost a home. Let your insurance company know, let your broker know, and they're going to walk you through that process. And it might take a little bit to get rebuilt. Probably going to be, you know, you're going to be renting another place or living in a hotel. You're going to be rebuilding. You're looking at a year of being, at least a year probably of being uncomfortable and not in a home. But that's what insurance is there for, right? Like, I think everyone likes to complain about insurance. I pay for it and I never get any money out of it, or they never pay out on claims. But this is a perfect example of what insurance is there for. This is what you're paying for. So some carriers may be inundated. They might insure a lot of homes in the areas that have been affected. So yeah, maybe the timeline's going to take a little longer to get paid out. They're going to be inundated with work themselves and underwriting and that claims process, but you will get paid out. You will be able to rebuild as long as your policy was active and, you know, up to date. You're going to be okay. And our hearts are with you and everyone who's been affected. Like, I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, just take a step back and realize how like devastating this is for everyone involved. At the end of the day, it is just stuff. It is just a building. And, you know, you're hopefully sooner rather than later, you know, that home can be rebuilt and, you know, life will start getting back to normal. But right now it's just in the thick of it and getting through the day to day for sure. But yeah, at the end of the day, call your contact, call your carrier, call your broker, and they will help you through that process for sure.
Yeah, great info. Yeah. Again, our hearts go out to everyone that's dealing with it currently that, you know, lives up in LA County and the surrounding areas. But great info as well. You know, if you are in the process of buying a home, maybe don't sweat it too much in regards to what quote you're getting. You can always, you know, switch it up after the fact, but whatever you're able to do to, you know, continue with escrow and continue with purchasing your home and securing insurance, it's really kind of take what you can get at this point.
Yeah.
And then, you know, adjust it afterwards.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks so much for joining us, honey.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the info.
Pleasure.
We'll be doing more videos with you for sure.
Thank you for having me.